Coming up on this episode of Timberwolves Weekly, we'll recap a busy week in athletics. The men's soccer team traveled to Saginaw Valley State for a chance at a GLIAC championship. Football headed to Ohio Dominican for a GLIAC contest. And the women's soccer team took part in the postseason, playing in the opening round of the GLIAC tournament, as well as action from volleyball and men's basketball. We'll also preview upcoming events, and we'll tell you about a huge event coming to campus this weekend. Timberwolves Weekly starts right now. Hello, everyone. I'm Travis McCurdy. Welcome to another episode of Timberwolves Weekly. Each week, we've been coming to you from different locations around campus. Today, we're coming to you from inside the new office of head women's basketball coach Jeff Curtis. Coach Curtis just moved to his office the other day, and he has a pretty spectacular view of our arena now from up here in his new office. Let's get the show started talking about men's soccer. Doug Carter's team headed to SVSU last Friday with the chance to do something no other team in school history had done, and that's win a GLIAC championship. The Timberwolves won the GLIAC tournament a year ago, but they never actually won the actual GLIAC championship. With the win against the Cardinals, the Timberwolves would claim that first title in program history. Let's see how the Timberwolves did. It was a great day for Northwood men's soccer at Saginaw Valley State. The Timberwolves clinched the first GLIAC championship in school history with a 1-0 victory on the road against the Cardinals. Northwood, of course, won the GLIAC tournament last year, but this is the first outright GLIAC championship in school history. Jack Smith's goal in the first half on a free kick proved to be the only goal in the contest. Shots and corners were very even with slight advantages to Northwood. The victory allows Northwood to host the upcoming GLIAC tournament this Friday and Sunday at Dean Field on the campus of Northwood University. Really was a spectacular result for Doug Carter's team. They've had a really great season so far. They're ranked number 2 in the region in the latest Midwest region rankings. And now with that win, now have the chance to host the upcoming GLIAC tournament on campus this weekend. We'll have more details about that later in the show. But congratulations to Doug and the entire men's soccer program on a tremendous season. Football headed south last week as well. The Timberwolves took on Ohio Dominican down in Columbus. Ohio Dominican, one of the top programs in the league. Let's see how the Timberwolves did. We pick things up in the first quarter here. Northwood defensive end Charles Williams has had a really solid season. He makes another play there, a sack for loss. Very next play, defense makes another big play. Neil Fleming this time gets in for the quarterback sack. Defensive line continuing to make plays here on this run by the Panthers. A short gain thanks to a stop by Trey Branch. After the Panthers get on the board here, this is Aaron Curtis on the kick return here. Aaron getting himself back in the lineup after battling some injuries this season. He does a good job fighting through some tackles, giving Northwood excellent field possession on the following drive. Later on, running back Shane Barron had his best day as a Timberwolf. This time he takes the pitch to the right. He will gain 15 yards on this play and a first down for the Timberwolves. Later on, defense makes another big play here. On this quick pass out to the left, Nick Tripp and David Barks combine for a tackle for no gain for the Panthers. Offense now on the drive. Second and long, Mark Morris rolls to his left. Nice diving catch here by Shane Barron. Picks up about 9 yards on the play. Later on now, Morris finds David Kalanick wide open to the left. That's a 15-yard reception for the senior tight end. On the very next play, Shane Barron will find running room to the left again on a pitch. He will gain 25 yards. There's also a personal foul on the Panthers on this play, putting Northwood at the 14-yard line, and Barron will take the jet sweep and run in the end zone for a 14-yard touchdown to get the Timberwolves on the board. Special teams comes up with a big play here. Ray Shepler breaks through the middle of the line, along with the host of Timberwolves for the block punt, giving Northwood the ball in excellent field position. Later on, this is running back Luke Schaefer. He finds room in the middle of the field. Fighting for extra yards, he picks up 12 yards for the Timberwolves here. Charles Williams continues his fine play here. Great open field tackle on the run by the Panthers. Next play, senior Jake Rietma comes up with a nice tackle on the quarterback. And then on the next play, once again, Charles Williams continuing his fine play, a tackle for loss for the Northwood defense. Later on now, some of the other players getting on the field. Jimmy Strom finds Raynard Warren. This is a 24-yard reception into the red zone. And once again, Shane Barron will find the end zone with his second touchdown of the day. This is a 3-yard run to the right. And then At the end of the game, really nice play here by Ray Shepler, breaking through the line and making the tackle for loss, but it was not enough. Northwood falls to Ohio Dominican 48-14. Barron's best day as a Timberwolves finishes with 114 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. Mike Keith led the Northwood defense with 12 tackles, while Williams finished with 6 tackles, 2.5 tackles for loss, and 1 sack. Tough one for Coach Haynes and the Timberwolves there. ODU has really been one of the best teams in the league the last few years, and they're really starting to roll once again after a bit of a slow start. Timberwolves will try to get back in their winning ways this weekend at home against Hillsdale. That's at 1 o'clock at Hant Stadium. Even with a lot of the fall sports teams already having completed their season, there's still a lot of action going on around Northwood. Let's check out how the Timberwolves did last week. The Northwood women's soccer team saw its 2015 season come to an end with a 4-1 loss to Ferris State in the GLIAC quarterfinals. The final stats of the match were very close. Northwood actually held a slight advantage in shots and in corners for the game, but the Bulldogs used a flurry of goals in the opening half to take the victory. Jessica Flores with Northwood's lone goal in the contest, her team leading 7th of the season. Volleyball dropped a pair of matches to open the week. The Timberwolves lost to Wayne State 3-0 before falling to Saginaw Valley State 3-0. Allison Getty and Colleen Mayer had 7 kills for Northwood in the Wayne State match, while Krista Kramer led Northwood with 9 kills against Saginaw Valley State. The Timberwolves bounced back with a 3-0 victory over Lake Superior State on Tuesday night. Very balanced Northwood attack. 4 players finished with at least 7 kills, with Allison Getty leading the way with 8. And the men's basketball team picked up a 117-52 exhibition victory over Delta College on Sunday. The Timberwolves shot 56% from the floor and connected on 15 threes in the game. Maurice Jones had 19 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 5 steals. Nick Spitzley off the bench had 16, while Dylan Langcable added 14. So men's basketball improves to 2-0 in exhibition play with that easy win over Delta. Northwood has a tough test this week, though, at Xavier. There's also a lot of other events coming up this week in Northwood Athletics, highlighted by the GLIAC men's soccer tournament right here on campus. Let's check out what's coming up in Northwood Athletics. This week's events begin on Friday as the Timberwolves will host the men's soccer tournament at Dean Field on the campus of Northwood University. The opening match is at 10 a.m. That's Saginaw Valley State against Lake Erie. Then at 1 o'clock, the men's team for the Timberwolves will take on Tiffin. At 7 o'clock that night, Grand Valley State will host Northwood Volleyball. And then on Saturday, November 7th, the cross-country team will compete in the NCAA Division II Regionals hosted by Southern Indiana. Then at 1 o'clock on Saturday, the football team will take on Hillsdale in the final home contest for the Timberwolves. At 2 o'clock on Saturday, men's basketball will play an exhibition game at Xavier. And then at 3 o'clock on Saturday, the volleyball team will take on Ferris State. The GLIAC men's soccer tournament championship match is at 1 o'clock Sunday at Dean Field. So the GLIAC men's soccer tournament comes to town. Should be a great event out at Dean Field. Love to have people come out. Once again, game times are as follows. Friday at 10 a.m., second-seeded Saginaw Valley State will take on third-seed Lake Erie. Then at 1 o'clock, top-seeded Northwood will face fourth-seeded Tiffin. And the winners of those 2 matches will face each other in the championship match on Sunday at 1 o'clock at Dean Field. Our athletes of the week this week come from the soccer programs. Both teams reached the postseason. On the women's side, our women's athlete of the week is Jessica Flores. Jessica scored the lone goal in Northwood's 4-1 loss at Ferris State in the GLIAC quarterfinals. Flores led the team in goals this season with 7. On the men's side, our athlete of the week is Jack Smith. Jack is the GLIAC Offensive Player of the Week. He only scored 1 goal last week, but it was a huge one. It was the lone goal in the contest against Saginaw Valley State, a win that gave Northwood the GLIAC championship. Congratulations to Jessica and Jack on winning those awards. Both well-deserved. Both had great seasons for the Timberwolves. That's going to do it for this episode of Timberwolves Weekly. Make sure you like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram and Twitter. And don't forget to check out all of our YouTube videos and, of course, GoNorthwood.com. This is Travis McCurdy signing off. Keep fighting. Go Mad.